All right, what is up? Welcome back to the English 102 podcast. I am your host, Cody. Today I have my friend Zach with me, and we are going to be taking a not so deep dive into the sport of racing and just the diversity of the sport. So first question for you. Do you think that racing as a sport has become more diverse since it started?
Yeah, 100%. Racing has become really diverse, just NASCAR wise. Racing really, it started just as, moonshiners, and then, companies got involved and it got all corporate and stuff. But, as it has evolved, it has gone from, more of a, kind of like a bunch of rednecks driving cars to a very organized, very professional thing. And, just recently in the past, we had the Bubba Wallace, the first black man to ever win a race at Talladega Speedway. And we also had Daniel Suarez. He wasn't the first member of the Latin American community who won a race, but he did. He was like the second or third, I believe, last year, and he
Yep.
won at Sonoma. And just in general, the we got Raja Cruz down in the truck series. So yeah, it has become a lot more diverse as time has gone on.
All right. Why do you think that's part of just the sport becoming more popular, or do you think that's just something that has happened with time, is just certain people getting into it?
You know, I would say the current guys, like Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, over in F1, the guys like Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guan Yu, Lewis Hamilton, the guys that are, Checo Perez, you know, those guys, they did it, they're kind of like the guys that are, breaking the barrier a little bit. The current wave of guys really aren't just because the popularity has grown, but in the future, yeah, the F1 grid, the NASCAR field will be a lot more diverse, and it will be because of the popularity that the sports have had in the past, you know, 10, 15 years.
All right. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. What do you think that racing companies and racing teams can do to try and make the sport more diverse and more inclusive?
The biggest thing really for F1, they're doing a pretty good job right now. They're doing a good job of broadcasting, they're doing a good job of growing the sport. It's still very expensive to get into motorsports. So, making programs and grants and stuff like that that will allow people who want to race, who can't afford it, to get in. That will very much help them because that will bring in more talent, not more money, which if you know racing, that's a big problem. With NASCAR, they're doing a good job of growing the sport, and it's relatively cheaper to get into NASCAR, as a, just relatively speaking. But the biggest thing for NASCAR is they have to get rid of the old NASCARs just for the poor stupid rednecks. If they get rid of that, if they can, show that yes, there are rednecks who like this, but yes, there's also, regular people who like this, not just rednecks, you know, then they will be able to have more people from more communities come in because they won't be afraid of being basic, not just discriminated against.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely makes sense. So in recent years, NASCAR, F1 have both come out with their own kind of programs. NASCAR has come out with the Drive for Diversity program, and F1 has come up with the F1 Academy. F1 Academy being an all-female, excuse me, an all-female series, and the Drive for Diversity just kind of like you said, trying to give more people an opportunity. People who may not be able to afford a ride being able to get an opportunity to improve, hone in their skills and kind of um, improve their what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say skills twice, but for my brain not working, I'm just going to say skills again to improve their skills. Do you think these programs are going to be effective, and what do you think we can do to improve them?
I think these programs will be effective. It's going to take a little while until we see them take effect, though. That's the problem. When people, diversity in other sports, it's very easy to change. You know what I mean? You can,
Yeah,
in the NFL and the NBA, they implemented female refs. They also have implemented female coaches, female strength coaches, female conditioning coaches, stuff like that. But racing, it's going to be a lot. It's going to take a little bit longer. And the reason for that is because with racing, unless you have the money, you cannot continue in racing unless you have the talent to go up. And a lot of these people that these programs are going to help are going to be talent. It is not going to be your it's not going to be your rich kids. It's not going to be your, it's just not going to be the rich kids. Let's just leave it at that. And as the years go on, in about 10, 15 years, yes, these programs will help, but it'll take time just because we have to weed out the ones that aren't as talented, and the ones that are talented will be able to go to the sports. For example, NASCAR, the drive for inclusion will help, but the kids have to go through legends, then they have to go through limited late models, then late models, and they have to do a lot of stuff. If you go modified way, the modified way, it's a lot harder to do it like that, but a lot of people will probably do it because it's somewhat cheaper. But there's just a lot of series they have to go through, and there's a lot of things that most people on the surface will not know about. So NASCAR will take a little while, just because they have to find the talent. They have to find the kids who are the talented ones, and give them the money and give them the grants, but it'll work out. It really will. They just need to give it time. That's my big thing. I keep rolling back to that. The F1 Academy, it is already showing results. They got it going. I think F1 was working on it a lot more behind the scenes, and then now it just now that they've boomed in popularity the past 3 or 4 years, it was they're like, all right, sweet, we can pull this out and it'll look great. But they've been working on it for a while. But statistics of something like that take a while. But we have seen it. The woman who won, I don't know what her name is off the top of my head. I can't remember. I know who it is. I believe she's from Spain or Portugal. I can't remember what her name is. But she won the F1 Academy this year, and now she's signed to an F3 team. So theoretically, in 2 or 3 years, we could see her on the F1 grid if she's good enough. If she is good enough, great. But the F1 Academy will produce the first ever female F1 driver. I can almost guarantee you that. It might not happen as soon as some people want, but I can almost guarantee it will. And we already seeing the results. Some of the women have been, signed to reserve roles for F3 teams. One of them, the one who obviously won, she is an F3 driver now. And some of them are coming back to the F1 Academy just so they can hone their skills and more, and then hopefully they can get the contracts in the future.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys.